Make sure I got sound check going. Looks like everything's good. Alright, just hanging out today, doing a little co-working. And actually, as I think about it, I need to step away for 1 second. I'll be right back. So we are just kind of getting into it and co-working a little bit while I'm hanging out here in the home lab. Alright. I do need to put together some little stream sound effects that I got, so I might be working on that a little bit too while we're sitting here. That might be a little fun thing I work on while I'm setting up for other things that we're doing. So if you guys have any questions about what we're doing around here or the Linux group, let me know, and I will try to tell you guys all about them. Right, be right back. All right, back. Let's see if I can get some of these other little things that I want working here. Playing around with StreamerBot, which is kind of a fun little thing. You can take a bunch of different commands from a bunch of different platforms and you can send them in. So let's see, from Twitch or YouTube, command can be objection. Let me see. Twitch bot, Twitch, okay. All those things. Good, good, good. And basic regex, good, that's fine. Okay. And now we're going to take objection and give it an action cue and just say okay. And what are the sub actions for this? They're going to be to just play some music or play not a music, but play an event. I'm gonna go find this real quick. Core. It's gonna be sound. Play sound from a folder. Let's see, sound, play a sound, sound file, we'll go find our sound file. In our Linux group. This one's objection. There we go. All right, let's see. Oh, maybe I had to make that action like active or something. Let's see. Objection comes in. Objection goes into, it's called commands. Q is default. Okay. Q is default, got nothing. User permissions. Anybody should be allowed to run it. Try this again here. Options. Okay. See what's going on here. Oh, just objection. Wonder if I don't have this set currently. Well, this thing should be able to see chat. Maybe I didn't have chat enabled right there. Try one more time. So I'm doing objections, and the command is not coming through. Go check this other one that was doing it. So ask any of those things. There were no special permissions there either. Action keys. I gotta figure out what is different. Paused or blocking. Well, it's definitely working all the way through. So what's going on with edit? We don't care about case sensitive. We don't care about global cooldowns. Huh. Okay. I should be able to see it over on their side. How's it going, Akshanya? I should be able to do objection here too, and it should still work. Shouldn't matter. Let's go look at the action. It's not even getting, the weird thing is the queue is not even getting triggered for this, so I'm gonna have to add, I don't know. Just gonna have to add a queue. Edit the queue, not blocking. Let's go over to commands. We'll take objection and move it to the other. Cancel. Actions, commands will be in the streaming queue. Okay. Sub-actions will be to play that sound, which is the Phoenix objection. The source triggers. I see. I didn't have a trigger for it. Are going to come from trigger or command triggered. Okay, think I can do that. Command triggered. The command will be objection. There we go. All right. Yeah. Let's at least see if that triggers now. I should have triggered the queue. Streaming is not blocking. Almost like I need to test this. Is there a way to test this action? Actions none triggered by streaming queue. Twitch or YouTube. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just playing around with my stream while we're kind of co-streaming here. I was dropping stuff on the Twitch side. And then Twitch side we have... There we go. So why did it come through on the Twitch side? But it's not... Hold on. And it's loud. So we need to change that a little bit. Let's edit this. Edit the sub action. We're going to play that at like 50. Could you guys hear that okay? Did that come through? Oh, I got a timeout on it over there. That sounds... You can hear it, but you can't make out what it is. Okay. I might have to play with it. So it's probably because of how my desktop audio is pretty low, so you guys can not hear the music over me, but I don't want to turn the music up too loud. Let's see. I could turn the music off for the testing. Let me just stop that for the testing. Boom. Let me move that up a little bit and then try the objection again. Actually, anybody can do the objection. Any of you guys can do that. But for some reason, it's not coming in. Oh, I think I know. I think I have to restart the program because I did get an alert when I first came on that said that there was a problem. They had hit their space global cooldown of 30 seconds and user cooldown of like 120 seconds. So any user can trigger that, but I have a feeling... That should say objection. That's from the oh, what is it? Phoenix. What was his name? We've had that command in our channel for forever. the objection command, and then I have override and overruled and sustained. Yeah, Akshunya, I'm not getting. It's weird. I'm not getting anything out of the YouTube side of things. So I'm gonna restart the program real quick. Hold on, because I have a feeling we're gonna close it. Yep, and then we're gonna reopen it. I think I'm gonna let's see what happens when we reopen this program here, because I think that they ran out of their traffic, everything that they. Long story. Let's see if it opens up. On the YouTube side, they can only do so much. Now, overruled and sustained were always only things that worked for me. They never worked for anybody else. But let me go look. I want to go see real quick. I got my chat open. I've got that. Actually, can you try objection again? If you don't mind. I could type it, but I think it would be fun to see somebody else do it. Looks like the commands are going. Looks like the cues are working. Yeah. Let me try. Yeah, see? So it worked for you, Akshunya, that time. I don't know if you guys could hear it right. I got to get the sound right on that. But yeah, it definitely shouted objection. I could probably have it play a GIF, too, of him standing up there and going, objection. Because I always thought that was funny. Like, you could object to anything different people said. All right, so I got that sound set up. I got all these other sounds that I kind of want to set up so people can have a little more fun playing around in stream if they want. Overruled and sustained are only ones that I can do. But I have to go get those ones then. And then I wonder if I go in here and mess around. Actually, I'm just using a thing called StreamerBot. There's a little guy called StreamerBot right here. If you guys have never seen him, you can just go in there. We had Ask set up, and I had Ask so you could just ask Llama. And if you guys remember a while back, we were doing all the Llama stuff. Where in my home lab I have a Ollama server running, and then it has what the hell's the name of that program we were running? Oh, we were running one of the codes. I forget what it was right off, but you could ask it, and then here's all the actions for that, where it would go out and then it would run, and then we were using SpeakerBot, and it would speak whatever the input was from. So we would write to a file and ask a question, and then we would get the answer back, right? Then we would speak it out, and then we would wait. So we would get the question, and we'd read the question out. Then we would read the lines from the answer, and we would speak that out as an answer. If you guys remember when I was doing that a while back. I'm not really playing with it. Yeah, actually, it's just inside of StreamerBot. There's action cues, and I just had like the llama one where all the llama questions used to go. There's nothing in it because once you restarted it, doesn't keep track of that anymore. But it is interesting that there's like a shared pool within this tool. There's like a shared pool between everybody, everybody that's ever used the tool apparently, and that causes us to only, this tool only allows us to see, like whatever, or it's a shared pool. So if you go over on all the accounts, then it gives you a warning that says, hey, we've used all of our connections into YouTube for the day. It's actually kind of funny that it's like that. I can move this up a little bit, and then I could put the chat up over here. And it'll actually show whatever's going on. Now the curious thing would be if I do it on one side. If I do an objection on one side like that, you guys don't see it on the other. I could set it up to have it talk across the chats too. But I also have, when you use this bot tool, you can actually have your chats across like this if I wanted. So I could have my chat between Twitch and YouTube. You guys would be able to talk to each other if you wanted to here. because it's both sides of the channel as well. So that's kind of nice. That's a nice little tool that we can play with. I have more sounds and integrations to build out, but I just really wanted to test that one. Can I copy this? It says I can copy the command ID, but I don't want to do that. Wonder if I can. So I guess I got to make a new one every time, which is kind of annoying. And then you could just name it whatever you want and set whatever commands you want in it, and then take the messages from both sides. Yeah, Akshanya, the system is, so the triggers are local to my machine. So the system's pulling down whatever it sees out of a command, like in the objection, if it sees the word objection, and it could be basic, it can be regex based. So we could do regex if we wanted. And then it can be at the start of the line or exact or anywhere in the line. So I could have things triggered off of when people do, let's say you were to like run, people have a bunch of things that they can do rewards for. And I could have a reward play something too if if people wanted. So it's a little thing that we could play with and, have a little more interaction on the stream when we're just kind of hanging out. You guys have something else that you could kind of play with. I've never been real big fan of like doing chat like that though. I know some people like that, but I've never been so big a fan of having chat across the two like that. So probably move that out of the way. But yeah. So what are we doing here? We are just kind of co-working a little bit, and then push chat into. I could push chat. So one of the things I thought to do is, if people had like pressing questions, they could ask questions, and then so let's say I run in the future, maybe I run something all night, and it's just like a it's like I run the recordings of Ansible or something, and then what I would do probably across the bottom here, how we have the little bottom ticker, I would probably have the bottom ticker say, !ask. And I'd probably limit it to, I don't know, every 5 minutes or something per user. And any questions that were asked would be dropped down in the Discord in a channel. And then I could come around later and I could either respond to that person or in some way, hopefully get them the right answer for what they want. So basically it would be like you're watching a video instructor almost. And, this would be just like a recording of me. I might even run those overnight time of things that we've recorded for the group, like all of the monitoring or all of the whatever. And then it would be kind of like a, not quite interactive, but like almost a semi-interactive, more of like a queued asynchronous. You could ask questions. And then if you asked a question and it would come into the Discord, and then me or anybody could answer it. Me or anybody from the group could answer it. And I think that would be an awesome way to use. Basilov, you got an interview. How was it? You think you said dude too much? That's okay, especially if it was an intro. If it was an early, not an early, but if it was like a junior or an earlier in your career admin, I'm pretty sure people are going to be fine with you saying dude a lot. I mean, they understand common vernacular, but also I think that if you guys were having a good conversation and it was comfortable, sometimes people are trying to figure out, oh, it's a screening call. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I normally know when you're talking with the team, they want to see how well they think you can fit on the team and how well they can kind of work with you, and feel like they're getting something out of it. So, yeah, hopefully you feel a little confident about it. We do have, for anybody that doesn't know, not necessarily Basilov, but we have a thing coming up here for people that want to practice their interviews. So that'll be tomorrow night at 8. We're going to do that most of the night. We'll just hang out and do interviews. And the way I do it is 10 minutes in the hot seat. You get to answer my Linux interview questions, and then you get feedback you get to give your own feedback of yourself, because we're always very kind of critical, right, of ourselves. But then you also hear how your peers think and what they noticed. Whoops. I don't have to put interested. I'm already interested because I wrote it. But anybody that wants to come to that, there's a little bit of pre-studying you should do. You go to meeting notes, and you can look at what that job what the job description is that we're interviewing for. It's a fictitious Linux sysadmin course or Linux sysadmin type job. And then here's the technical and different types of questions I've already given people. So technical questions I want to know, troubleshooting questions, operations questions, and personality. And I update those each week when we do it. So there's that. Yeah. Well, Pavlov, hopefully that turned out good. I'm interested to know how it turns out. I like hearing that people that are working on this stuff are getting out there and getting in the field. You know, I think that's always awesome. Let me turn my media player back on for music. It's nice to have a little bit of ambiance. You guys should be able to hear it okay. Next one, let's make another one real quick. So who knows what this is? So not a dirty term. Who knows what this tool, and I mean, obviously you guys can Google it, but I put it on both chats. What is a DTMF? It's not something weird. What is a DTMF? Anybody knows who that is or what that is? Let me find this, hold on. Let's make a new command. What do we want to call? Let's say call. Let's just call this call. And we'll say YouTube message or Twitch message. We'll keep persistent user counter. Sure. Okay. And then we're going to come over here to our action queues. We'll use our streaming queue for this. And we'll add one called D. And okay. And actually, you know what? Hold on. This one was just called command. I need to fix the name. So I didn't realize this other one. What would this other one? Don't turn my fillet. Fair. Hold on. What's the what was this one? Hold on. I got a objection. I'm lining things up a little more. I wish I could copy these. Oh, I could. Okay. So this one I could delete it, right? And then I can just duplicate this one, and then rename. Where's edit? Yeah, here. We'll call this one. And okay, and then his sub actions will be to play a different sound. We're gonna edit this one if we can. Or where is that command? I think it's music. Play a sound from a file. Use 50%, so it's not so loud. File sound to play. We'll use DTMF. And then we'll get rid of that one. No. Just delete that one. I wanna delete that one. I'll delete all sub actions, sure. Core, signal, sound, play sound, 100, so it's not as loud. And this file sound to play will be DTMF, which is like a phone call. It's like that's what I say over here. DTMF call. Let's see. Says it's actionable. Says it's there. Streaming has some completed ones. Good. Let's see. Is that gonna play it? Did not take the action. Oh, the command has to trigger off the other trigger. So let's edit the trigger off of DTMF call. Okay. All right, somebody help. Somebody do it. I don't even remember what that one was, but I remember that one was longer. Anybody know that you can go to like BBC and you can get all their sound effects? Did you guys know that they have like sound effects that you can use all over the place? Let's try it on the other side. Huh. Why is that one not queuing? Call. Edit. It shouldn't have to find... So it should be anything call. It's start. It's just at the start. And then it can come from either chat messages and the action. DTMF command triggered was from DTMF call. And that plays the sound and finishes at 50%. And it calls the right sound. Huh. Let's try. Just call. Nope, nothing. Maybe I don't have it enabled. Start, yes. We'll set it to a global cooldown, 60 seconds, and like, I don't know. That's a lot of fucking tabs. 120. So every 2 minutes a user could do it. I don't know of any action queues. It never made it out of command to the action queue. So it's got that. It's got that. There's nothing else special here. Anybody should be able to do it. Try it over on YouTube again. Okay. It's off of the queue. Action history. Okay. Command should go. Mode is basic. Don't see anything different between them. DTMF group queue is streaming enabled. Should run. Just got nothing different than that. So the action queue should definitely happen. Alright, let's try it again. Oh, that should play. Huh. It's not getting over here into my queue. The command is the same as the other one. Let me make sure it's exactly just that. Exclamation mark call. Okay. Actions triggered by the command call. Okay. Play sound at 50%. I don't need to change any of this because it should just be the application default. The name is DTMF. Okay. Can I just run this? I wonder if I can just like trigger this test trigger. So did anybody know what DTMF is? I'm asking what DTMF is. Does anybody know? I know what it is. I mean, my undergrad is basically in that. But I'm wondering if any of you guys know what it is. All right, so we could trigger it right here. But we can't trigger it across the action queue for some reason. Well, there it is. So when I triggered it there, it came in. But why is it not coming in from the commands? We see YouTube message. We see cooldowns. Group permissions should be, I mean, anybody should be able to. User permissions. Add users. We could add users there. We don't need to do that. Allow all or only these. We don't have any set, so that should be allowed for anybody. DTMF is a Bad Bunny song? Yeah. DTMF is what stopped the ability to phreak, Phreak, the phone lines with your voice. That's exactly. Well, what happened was originally you could make the tones with your mouth, and you could and the signaling channel was within the normal voice channel, and that was a bad thing too. So they had to get rid of that. So then DTMF is a sound you can't make with your voice because it's dual tone multi-frequency. You can't make that sound yourself. You can try, you can't. The system can tell that it's not a actual dual tone multi-frequency. So you can't hit those, and they're still within the signaling channel. So or they're still within the data channel. They don't have to be out in their own. So why is DTMF? We can run it here. We can see it there from the actions here. We don't see anything stopping it. The right queue is there. It's enabled. There's no group. The queue isn't paused, so not paused or blocking. I mean, we can resume all. We see DTMF and we see that it was triggered by my own system. Yeah, Ployd, that's where 2600 gets its name. Yep. So hold on. So I've got, that's the other stuff. Commands, DTMF, call. Should be able to pull down. There's nothing stopping this from running. But I just can't. See, I can objection. And that works. But call. All right, there we go. So call works now too. Like call for help. That's amusing to me. We'll have to make one that just triggers all the commands for people, and then you guys can do that. And then it'll just be more hanging out. If anybody needs a call for help, I guess you'll have the ability. You guys can do that. By the way, there's a 60-second cooldown for everybody, and then for either person, there's a globally there's a 120-second cooldown. So that's right here. So for any user, it's 60, and we could probably make that. Yeah, that's probably fine. So if anybody wants to use that, like call help, it'll do something. Let's see. I'll try it over on the Twitch side or on the YouTube side. I think I've talked long enough. That is so amusing to me. I got a bunch of them, guys. I download. So what I was talking about earlier, if you guys have never been here, man, you can just go. The BBC, I remember reading this in early COVID time. I'll link this to you guys. There was a thing that happened where the BBC just said, hey, we'll put all our sound effects on the web. So BBC is the broadcasting company, you know, for over there in England, right? And or in the UK. I don't know what the proper thing is when you're over there. I just know from the outside I think of them as England. And then you can set the duration, so you want things that are under 10 seconds, and then you can just go find ones that are interesting to you. So for me, I grabbed these ones because these were ones that I thought would be kind of fun. I've got the Phoenix Objection. Oh yeah, Objection. I didn't mean to run that in my sound. I apologize, guys. I should have ran that a different way because that messed up our stream and chill. All right. Anyways, we can run this in other things. You get nothing. Let's open with. We'll open it with a different media player.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
If you guys remember this.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. You get nothing.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So what would we want to call that one? We call that, I'd say, it works. It'll work for you guys. If you guys remember, the reason I originally set this thing up when I was messing around with it was for the little Ask Llama, and then you guys could talk into my LLM. But like nobody was really using it for much. Nothing, and then whatever the username is. Cooldown, we'll make this 160 seconds as well, and global 120, just so that people can use it across both. And the thing about it is the Nightbot that I use is pretty alright, but the problem with Nightbot is you don't get, let's add this, we'll call this one nothing. And the queue will be in streaming, right? And then, okay. And then what you have to do is you have to add over here a trigger. So the trigger is a core from a command triggering, and the command that triggered would be nothing, right? And then the sound is core. I'm getting better at this as I do it, if you guys can't tell. I could play the sound. I want to play it at about 50%. Was that too low for you guys? Could you guys hear the call there? We'll go at like 50. If we need to update it, if we need to go louder, we can. And then this one will be... You get nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Close that down. Test it.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
That's so fucking funny to me. All right, so that's there. That'll go against the action cues when we run it. We'll actually see it because I just triggered it. Maybe when I test it. Oh, when I test it, it doesn't trigger, but I should be able to come here and test the trigger.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And then that does go in the action queue, and I do see that in the action history. All right, so I think you guys need to give it about a minute, and then now that one's up there too. So now nothing is up there as well. So then we need to make a command like for all the commands. So command, you know, commands. And then we have to say like command, right? And then what this will be is, let's say commands, right? Okay. Now when somebody puts in the word commands, it should tell, actually, you know what? We can make that command, because then it'll be all inclusive. So the trigger will be command. Because then if you do exclamation mark command, we'll just make it print out what the commands are. So let's go command. And then, oh, we're going to make sure that we have it in the streaming queue. Okay. Source will be core command triggered. And the command will be command, right? Okay. And then the sub action, we can just say core, and we could just give, I'm pretty sure we can just dump info. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to have to find that. But I'm pretty sure we can just dump. Oh, get quote. Can I could just run something from a file, I guess. Read lines from a file, and then just say all the commands in the file. Can we just action cues? No. Okay. I literally just want to output to the screen, or I literally just want to. I don't know where that is. Oh yeah, that's definitely Gene Wilder. You get nothing, sir. You lose. Good day. We used to talk about how good day was like the strongest thing you used to be able to say to somebody back in the day. We don't want to read or write. We literally just want to post back to chat. So actually, this may have a function over here. Let me see. There's the command. And no, I will have to generate from this command. We have how it's triggered. And then the sub actions, we want to literally just display some info. So we could do it from reading from a file, but I would like to just, if I could, I would like to, if possible, just drop it directly back in chat. Can I just comment? Nah. I don't know. I have no idea where this comment goes. I don't, like I literally don't know where that comment goes. Does it go to chat somewhere? Yeah, Xshunya, the Quen models I think are what I used. I used Quen 2.5, I'm pretty sure. No, it was fine. Xshunya, like the Quen model I was using was fine. I actually still have it set up. I could turn all this on and have SpeakerBot on. There wasn't really any reason really for it. Action cues, streaming. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do this part. I don't know how to get, like, what is, can I go, I could set like a different, I don't want to do any of that. I would think it would just be like a core message, like right back into chat. Wouldn't it just be like a chat message? Can I? Oh, so you can do something else. No, I don't want to do that. Let's get rid of this because I don't think this one is. Yep. Favorite. Don't have any of those. Core. Actions. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find the. Can I just log back to the. Playing sound seems to be easy. It's the getting back. Run a program toast notification. I don't know what a toast notification is. Xshunya, my Olama had 32 cores and 32 gigs of RAM, and the Quen 2.5 ran okay on it. We used to watch it every now and then on stream here. We would set it up and then run, but it was okay. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything great. I didn't want to leave it on. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't want to change any of these things. I could use SpeakerBot, right? We could have it say something. Don't need any of that stuff. We don't want to trigger any of these things. I am going to be integrating and sending stuff out to Discord eventually, but not yet. Why don't I see? I don't want to send any signals. Trovo is a different thing. Ah, wait, maybe here's chat. Send message to channel. Okay. But that would only go to Twitch. Could we also have a sub action to send to YouTube? Send message. Okay. Well, then I was being dumb. That's not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. The MOE models. I haven't played with MOE at all, actually. Yeah, we're going to get, guys, we're eventually going to get digits in here, which is digits NVIDIA. We used to have this up here. We're going to eventually get one of these when they bring this thing out. They just haven't, I don't think these are out yet, are they? Yeah, you can still reserve them, but they're not out yet. But I already got all approved with the wife. I can get one of these for the channel. I can get one anyways, but I definitely just like to run stuff like that by the wife, right? So it's gonna be a nice little. I'll just add that in as part of the system stuff. So let's go sub actions. Let's go to YouTube. Send messages, channel, chat, commands will be call, nothing, objection. Right? I think those are our current ones. Call, nothing, objection. Sure. So then if we say command or commands, either one, it'll send a message to Twitch channel. Nope, Twitch chat. Clear reply. Send message to channel. Boom. Send use. I mean, I guess we can send it using the bot account. Sure. Now, if that one's good, we'll trigger that real quick. So we'll go to command. Actually, we can come here, command, and test trigger. And it should send a chat to both sides. Call nothing objection. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And then now you guys could, if you wanted to, play any of those general sounds. And I'm curious if somebody minds doing one in Twitch and one on YouTube. If you guys did those commands, I'm pretty sure they would just play over the top of each other, which I think is hilarious. But I think they might also queue up. I'm not sure exactly. So I guess I could test one on each, but I'm kind of curious. So okay, so then command or commands would, both of them should work for that, and then you guys have command, and I'll just keep building commands off of. Look, I got a whole bunch of these. The one that I wanted, so I can grab more because, right, again, BBC literally has tens of thousands of sound effects, guys. But I wanted to keep them under 10 seconds, right? So here's the under 10-second ones, and then I was just calling them like what I wanted. Oh yeah, the phone is there's a like no response phone. Hold on, this one is hold on.
The Vodafone you have called has not responded. It may respond if you try again. The Vodafone you have called has not responded.
That is so funny to
It may
me.
respond if you try again.
I'd just call that like.
The Vodafone you have called has not responded.
It does it 3 times and then it hangs up on you, and I just thought that was funny.
The Vodafone you have called has not responded. It may respond if you try again.
That sound right there. Some of us are very familiar with that. Another one that I really need to download is shit. See if somebody's got an old modem sound for the old connection. See if somebody's got a good soundboard on it. These guys have so many. These My Instance guys, they have so many good ones. But if they have the old. That's similar to what I heard as a kid. Woo! Spicy. That's probably the most common one I've ever heard right here, this modem. That was part of our initial, initiation of the communication back then. That's pretty funny. Speaking clock in the UK, dial 123. Nice. Oh, it's my favorite sound bit for anything. Like probably my favorite British bit. I am a big fan. Like I have like a probably I wouldn't call it quite a compulsion, guys, but I have like almost a ridiculous fandom for like British humor. I do not know why British humor is so funny to me. Maybe it's because I'm like an engineer and most people think I'm pretty straight edge, but I think most of my stuff's I think stuff's hilarious. There used to be this British show called Chef. Loved it when I was a kid. As an adult, IT Crowd, one of the funniest things I've ever seen, right? But there's one where he's trying to remember the phone number. He's trying to fucking remember the phone number, and it's this song. It's not like 999, I think is what they used to call, but now it's like 0991919742231. And he can't remember it, and there's a fire, so he sends an email about the fire. One of the best scenes in all of, and it was Marsh, right, who would get a hot ear, and it was so funny, man. I wonder if I can download any of these. Don't want any of that. Will they let me download just a modem? Oh, that's a nice annoying sound. So there you go. Yeah. So guys, what I'll probably end up doing, because one of these days, I want to get kind of organized. You know, I have all this stuff recorded. I have all this stuff on YouTube, and I think what would be really, I think valuable for people would be I could run the stream even when I'm not around. I could run the stream at night with like the older videos. And you say, well, yeah, Scott, people do that. No, but that's not what I want. What I want then is as you're putting in questions, I could be triggering, not obviously not when people are messing around with these things, because this is just us messing around for fun. But we could have a command where when you ask, it won't go, we won't do the Olama stuff right now, although we can eventually work up to putting the Olama stuff back in. But if you ask a question, then I could drop it in over here and send it to our Discord. And again, and then it would go to like YouTube questions, and then people that wanted like legitimately had questions about things like that I was showing or something like that, I could come through and answer it later. Right? I could come in here the next day or later while I'm co-working, because I'm technically co-working right now. I'm doing other stuff while we're talking. And then I could just like be hanging out, you know, and answering questions for people specific to the courses or specific to all these other things. And you guys could run, I mean, technically now I've got a playlist of probably hundreds of hours of the Linux sysadmin courses and these different courses and stuff. But I'd like to have it like where you guys could, again, it's more of a, like, it's more interactive. I tell you guys all the time, Discord is really where you can go in and talk to other people and stuff. Moss and the second boss actors are just main character voices in the show. Cropopolis. Oh, I might need to watch that then. Yeah, Joey. One of my favorite. There's like a few of my favorite parts of IT Crowd come from the very first episode. But there's like the team. You might think this is a picture of my family, but it's not. It's the A team. And then in one of the last seasons where they come in and they're in a board meeting and they ask the dad, they say, hey, or the, you know, he's the CEO of the company. Hey, there's some discrepancy in the, you know, in the whatever reports. And he just walks out the fucking he's like on the 31st floor and he just walks out the floor of the building. He opens a window and just walks out. And you're like, oh my God, that's fucking funny. Absolutely hilarious show. Yeah. The IT Crowd was one of my favorites. And then, when they convince, Jen that she's got the internet, and she's like, oh, I thought there'd be more wires, and they're like, no, it's wireless, silly. Oh, that's just such good old. And then they only did like, I think was it like 2.5 seasons? Like it only played about 2.5 or something, so it's pretty quick. And then the vampire coming out of the server room, that's how like any of us that have ever worked in server rooms for long hours, like you'll come out and you'll have been in there like 18 hours. And you're like trying, like it's the sun's going down, or maybe the sun is already down, and you're like, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Like have I been in there since I was, you know, created? Like was I born in that fucking data center? Like I don't even remember what time or month it is, you know. And that's very very apropos. All right. Oh, did I get 2 of these? No, I just got the one. Okay, good. All right. So anyways, that's you know, BBC. They did some really cool stuff, man. You would never have thought, maybe until you had went here, like footsteps. They have so many types of footsteps, close-up crunching sounds of individual person walking in snow, slight wind noise. Huh? You got 25 seconds of that. Footsteps across sand, like 2 people running. Yeah, footsteps running, 1 man in mud. Crowds, children, and footsteps in snow. Like they have. Like if you needed sound, and they say here you can use it, right? They have their license. You can't say you're affiliated with them, and if anybody asks, you have to let them know that you got it from the BBC. I think that's all pretty fair. But it's like 4 men departing, specifically 4 people walking. This is they're just. I think it's such an awesome thing that they did when they did this. But yeah, like you just need a little sound clip for something. And again, you can go look at they've got the licensing. What's the licensing to be allowed to use this? You know. What are you allowed to do? There you go. What do we mean? Don't remove logos or stuff like that, and then don't use it for harmful or offensive purposes. But other than that, it's fair to use, right? I think that's pretty good of them, and you can download it and all that kind of stuff too. So that's kind of a cool little thing. But they have so much like sound and things for you to go mess with if you need sound effects. What was some of the ones I was getting the other day? Oh, I was getting all these ones. I was mind blown, laugh track, alarm, and then I needed 3 cannons because I always do that with Ansible. You guys have heard me talk about Ansible and firing cannons off in the night. People yelling in the background of that one too. But it's like sound bits that were under 10 seconds with cannons. Because they have a whole section on war. So like when you go here, you can go to just their sound effects. And you can look for anyone. So yeah, here's military under 10 seconds, 106. And you can go look for things that are interesting to you. Oh, all the bugle. There were all kinds of bugle stuff going on. Yeah. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of people like making stuff valuable for other people, you know, and useful. And then letting them use it. So I linked that to you guys. Yeah, actually, a sound of a capacitor. Let's see. Because they actually have a lot of sounds, guys. I might spell capacitor wrong. But let's go back to sound effects. I know they have electronics here. So Morse code, Morse signaling, if you've never heard that. Let's see if they have Kappa. Nope. Apparently you can't use search functions exactly the same way. A lot of birds. No, but anyways, they do have a lot of electrical stuff. I remember seeing that yesterday. I was like, oh, they do have a lot of electrical sounds, electronics. And then you can go look for the things that are interesting to you. Computers dialing out through a modem. If you needed that for some hacker. Oh, that's what we used to get. That's what you didn't listen to. I apologize, guys. That is quite sharp. That is quite sharp in the ears. Oh, hopefully that came through to you guys like a little filtered through sound. But that was quite loud for me. Oh. Anyways, they have a lot of stuff here. And it's free. The licensing, you can go read the licensing. You know, just it basically says don't be an asshole. That's basically what it says. So if you're doing this kind of stuff, this is where it's at. But if you're just sitting there and playing around with it with your buddies, it's free. So there you go. All right, so let's go keep hanging out. Can I explain the dual tone thing about making phone numbers from voice? Yeah. DTMF looks like this. So they probably got an image of it. Yeah, typically they have a good image somewhere. So this is how DTMF works. If they have... So this is what the creation of the frequency looks like. There's the columns and the rows. And then the columns get the frequency down here applied. And the rows get the frequency over here applied. And what these composite into, when you look at it over here, let's open this link in a new tab. It looks like this. So then you've got a low frequency and a high frequency, and it causes those kind of ringing tones. And I wonder if anybody's got them actually visualized, what DTMF looks like. I used to do this in college. I used to have like graphs of all this. Let's open that in a new tab and see kind of what DTMF looks like. Yeah, so this is the low signal and the high signal. And then this is what it looks like combined. You can't generate that with your mouth. You can generate this. You could whistle through real low for that, and you can go real high for this, because that's about the high and the low of. That's not quite the high and the low of a human voice. Human voice can go around 2,000, I think, but we stop hearing it as we get older. So like there's. Anyways, you can go look all that up if you want. But this is what a DTMF looks like. It's a dual tone multi-frequency, and it causes the information to shift, and we can't generate that with our voice. We can't do it. So this is a 1209 and a 697 hertz put together. So yeah, you can look them all up. You can download free. This is MATLAB. MATLAB's not free, but Octave is. OCTAVE, Octave, and you can generate these inside of it. There's also another free. What's the other open source signal? There's an open source signal software that's pretty good. I don't want signal. generation. Sigrock. Maybe this. I doubt this one has the front end I'm thinking of. But there's I think it's open. Is this open source licenses? Nah, this is the one you have to have the scopes for. Yeah. It doesn't cost much to get a little cheap oscilloscope either. It doesn't cost too much, anyways. Maybe when I was in college, it was a little bit expensive, but as I've gotten older, it's not so bad. But anyways, you can find that stuff out there. Yeah, so it just generates frequencies that you can't make with your your human components. Can't make those yourself. Actually, you never had a modem. DTMF was actually just used for making phone calls. Before that, it was pulse dialing. So pulse dialing was where you did the little round thing, and it would come back and it would go click, 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 and there would be these pulses sent, and like 1 was 1 and 2 was 2, and the pulses represented whether you were dialing a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4. But DTMF made that simpler. Also, if you ever used a rotary phone, if you stopped it while it was making its signal, like let's say you had 9 and it was going to go click, 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 click 9 times, and you stopped it at 5, you just dialed a 5, or you have to hang up. Like, typically if you ever messed up, you'd have to hang up and dial it again or whatever. So, yeah, that's something to think about as you do that. Get to the chopper. I need to add this in. I need to add this as well.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper. Need to add that in. So then if you guys hear, even if you did command, it should still show commands. So even if you messed it up, I could probably do a second trigger for that for like CMD in case somebody ever just like tried to do CMD instead of command, right? I could show multiple things like that. I think that would be valuable as well for people. So yeah, I need to set those up so we have a little more interaction, and then I'll probably move away eventually from doing the like I have Nightbot in the background now, and Nightbot does a lot of that stuff, but I'll probably just use the streamer bot because I can just have it integrated locally and not have to have Nightbot in the channel. So I don't think that should be too much of a problem. That'll be good. Also, most of you guys know we're just kind of co-working. I'm working on some other stuff on a different screen. So while I do that, I can kind of hang out here and talk with you guys. Probably get rid of that. We're going to talk about this. This will come up in one of our future kind of talks. So keep working through stuff. Yeah. This reset. There we go. There's our course summary for our Linux sysadmin group, if anybody wants to get involved with that. And then what I should do, I should build a command. Let's do this real quick. Let's go add this. Because I do want this command. We'll add course, and then the command will be. I can do multiple commands. Hold on. So I'm gonna cancel. Hold on, cancel. Let's go to command real quick. Let's do or CMD would give you the same net effect. There you go. Okay, boom. So either of those should trigger. And then the actions were if that command triggers for command or command, then it'll trigger. Okay, so I don't know if somebody minds doing just lowercase CMD or exclamation mark CMD. Xshunya, you don't really hear them much anymore, but if you have a phone at your house, if you have a phone like connected into the wall that's not a cell phone, you probably are still triggering DTMF over that phone. And you used to hear it, it would go toot toot toot, as you dialed your friend or whatever. You probably don't run into DTMF, and you definitely don't run into modems anymore. Those are just sounds for us that are from the older generation that we listen to in nostalgia, I guess. Let's add these. This will be important. let's say course, and then courses, and then the commands for this would be, let's say course, any course or courses, learn, oh, I don't know, course learn, YouTube message. Let's say that this can be used by any global cooldown every 120, and any user. Oh, am I doing that backwards for users and global? Any user, let's say, could use this every, I don't know, I guess 10 minutes. I don't think most people would ever need it that often, but course learn, and then we come over here, go to our actions, add, we'll call this course. Okay. And then for course, we'll say it's triggered from that, where was that? Command, right? Command triggered. And the command will be courses. Boom. Course or learn. Don't have any other ones. Sub actions will just be a YouTube send message to channel, and the message will be our current courses. All courses are free in Discord. All courses, and actually, you know what? I can use this to fix the fact that over on the other side, we don't have. Looks like it worked, Shania. Thank you for that. Yeah, we do need to get the digit boxes so we can get that set up. But I would like if people ask questions, if I'm running this, automated in the future, people could drop chat questions in when we're not around. We could kind of have a place for people to do the prolog stuff kind of semi-interactively, right? Like if I'm around, I'd be able to help them. But if not, they could at least ask questions, and then the course would be, I don't want to call it like 24/7, but the course would always be kind of running, and then people could just kind of be around when they need. Yeah, Xshunya, if the GPU makers on the, Xshunya said, I hope the Chinese GPU makers get their act together. Whichever side ends up, I mean, here's one of the things about markets, right? If some country can't do it, or if there's some conflict of either actual war, because there's actual war going on in the world right now, or if it's just like a trade war, it's possible, guys, that there's, I mean, just looking at it, realistically, somebody else is going to step up, typically. Now, it's going to take somebody else a long time to get up to that standard, but I'm saying people will move their operations, people will bring their know-how to other places. There's a lot of things that I know people are practicing for and getting ready for now anyways, where they're going to be, somebody else will step up, and there'll still be chips being manufactured on planet Earth. They'll just take some time. Boganex, there's definitely a possibility for that. I have so many GIFs and memes that I actually should pull them up with the sounds. So we'll work on that part next. All courses are free in Discord. Current courses. And then all I want to do for this is just link these. Admin. Now, I know it's not going to get the spaces correctly, I'm sure, but we'll give it the gold college try for this. And then let's grab that, say okay, and then the course will also trigger a new one over to Twitch, and we'll do chat, send message to channel, boom, okay. And that one should be up. If I go on either side, so if somebody on either side says course, did I spell course right? All courses are free in there. It does it as individual. That's interesting. All right, so that'll be an interesting thing. Maybe I'll have to put a thing, chat, all courses free in Discord, current courses, and then maybe I'll say like triggered by, and then who triggered it. That would be kind of funny. But it's going to go on both sides. So you guys, you'll sit there and you'll see some chat messages and you'll be like, who the hell's doing this? Well, it's not actually me. It'll be people triggering on either side, and it'll come through on the other side. So, Chubby Puppy Bear, really appreciate the captions you have on your channel and wish more streamers would use something like that. Is it expensive to use, or how do you integrate? That's actually, can I show, I'll pull, we're doing this thing on Saturday night where, since the wife's out of town, I'm just going to show people like what I know about streaming and what I've learned. This is literally just PowerPoint behind. So I have a PowerPoint running. I have hit this button to turn on the closed captioning, and now closed captioning is just running in the background of my channel. Now, all I do then, like, as you know, this is all my Prometheus stuff, my study that I never finished studying for that thing. Well, I finished studying, I just never went and took the test. Everything that's back there is just, I just make sure that all my windows are above it. Or if I go to, I have a different thing that I sometimes pull up for you guys where, hold on, let me pull that up, and then let me pull this back up. Well, sometimes I have this other, I have different stream, I have like a co-working one, and when I do co-working, this just moves over to the left a little bit when I'm on the other channel. So yeah, all that is that's just PowerPoint in the background. It's free. Well, okay, so PowerPoint costs a little bit, but I get it free through my work and my college, and I've also had it on this laptop since I bought it. So yeah, that's just PowerPoint in the background, man. There's nothing special. I know that it's definitely sending up to the cloud, and there's a few reasons I know that. One is you can see it reconnect when I moved it down and turned it back on, and two, it definitely took like when I have network issues, and I've had network issues where I've like dropped stream before and stuff, and when that's happened, I lose that connection too. So that's definitely going up to Azure somewhere and getting chopped up. But you know, it's funny, it's pretty okay most of the time, but then sometimes it's really it can make me really look like a dummy. Like I even have there's examples of people clip and different stuff like that that's just really, really bad. So yeah, that's all it is though. It's just that. And then my understanding, and I haven't seen this yet, but my understanding is that YouTube is taking, like they sent a message, like I'm a YouTube partner. I'm not a Twitch partner, which is hilarious to me. I've been with Twitch for a long time, but you know, you just got to you got to pump those rookie numbers up, but you can't, yeah. So anyway, so I'm a partner on YouTube, and on YouTube, they sent me a thing a few months ago, and they're like, hey, we're going to take all of your videos if you want, and it was an opt-in program, so I opted in because I thought it would be good. And we're going to take all your videos, and we're going to take all your speaking, and we're going to take it, and we're going to convert it to like these 10 different languages. So like there's presumably, since they started it I think in like April, there's a video of me doing this same thing on YouTube of like in Japanese and in French and in German, and on, I think there's some of the other some of the other stuff. But anyways, where I'm going with that is I really wanted, if that was going to be the case, I really wanted to have my closed captioning in English at the bottom. And the reason, and you say, well, why would you ever in all the world want to do that? Well, because I know some people watch the stream. I know this from talking to people. Some people watch the stream to get better at English. And if if the way to anchor you and get you in and understand this stuff better is to have it in your language, but you know, with some, you know, big macho voiceover of me, I'm sure, and then probably computer generated, and then but the language at the bottom, you could use the English to at least kind of pick up, you know, most of what I'm talking about. I think that's pretty good. Also, real quick, we played with this the other day. I'll show you guys this. We played with this the other day. You can change these subtitle settings to other languages. And we did it. We had somebody who spoke. Where was he from? He was from. We've changed this to all types of other languages, and the guys that were in chat the days when we did it, they said it was pretty good. They're like, that's pretty close to what you're saying. And I said, well, that makes sense. I mean, the company behind this is a pretty big company. I think we switched it to Dutch, and one of our guys was from. Oh God, where was he? It was. He's from the Netherlands, I think. But I think we turned it to Dutch, and then he was like, yeah, that's actually not far. Yeah, so Chubby, yeah, they are redubbing my voice in other languages. Yeah. So since I knew that some people would be able to do that, but still maybe want it in English at the bottom. I've kind of tried to leave that at the bottom, but this is surprisingly good, from what I understand. We did it with a few different languages, and the guy said it was pretty good. So, yeah, they have. I don't know if I had to guess, probably 100 languages there almost. That's probably. Yeah, I guess probably close to 100. So it's pretty solid from what I hear. So I don't speak most of those other languages or probably any of them, but I do like that they have that capability for you guys. All right. What else do we have here? We have a Discord. You guys are welcome to hang out in the Discord. There's a bunch of events coming up. There's a bunch of study groups, and we got our Practice Linux interviews tomorrow night. So if you guys have never seen that, that's a kind of fun one for everybody. Over on YouTube, you said, yeah, I'm one of the guys who watches you to learn in English. Good. Hopefully I teach you guys good engineering and good system stuff when we're doing Linux. When I'm focused heavily on Linux and not just co-working like I am now, hopefully I'm teaching you guys good, valuable stuff for your careers. That's what the courses are. That's what our kind of serious get-togethers are. Tomorrow we're going to do Practice Linux interviews. This won't be on stream. This will just be us hanging out down there. And I always have, it's like 10 minutes in the hot seat, and you get to answer questions, and then you get feedback you get to kind of critique yourself and then hear from the other guys how you did. I also give a little bit of feedback if I can. I've done a lot of interviews in my time. And then there's a bunch in our meeting notes, here's what questions I've used in the past. It could be some of these or other ones. And then also, this is the job description. This is the fake job description that we're going for Linux administrator. What time do I stream on Saturday? Saturdays are kind of hit or miss for me. Most of the things I do on Saturdays are just down in the Discord with the guys. The guys in the... Well, look, guys, I can say the guys because YouTube shows me my numbers, and 99.8% of people that watch me are guys. Which I think is absolutely hilarious if you guys don't know. That is like, it's so funny. I showed my wife one time and she's like, it's all dudes. And I'm like, I know. That's what it says right there. It's like 99.8%. I'm like, I don't think I could be more pure. I try to be, if anybody wants to hang out, you can. But yeah, Shania, yeah, it's the technical term for that is a sausage fest. But the point is, you guys can come hang out in the Discord, and we've got all these events. And the goal of our group, if you guys don't know, and you guys can ask people down in Discord if I ever charge you stuff. There's no charges. You just hang out, do whatever. I think a lot of people have found, we have people that are hanging out down a lot in the Linux chat a lot, and they're finding other people that are in similar circumstances with them where they can work on how they're going to get jobs and they're going to do whatever. And then what I try to do is give you guys hopefully good advice on how to get into the field, how to learn these things, how to go. Like, we've got these Killer Coda labs, right? So you come over here to Killer Coda, and we've got a bunch of labs that we put together, me and other members of the group, for you guys to come in here and learn these tools. Like, if you don't have any way to get into Linux right now, Chubby, I don't do. Yeah, here's the reason. I don't mind being on. Like, I'll be on Twitch and YouTube all day. I don't care. But other people don't want to necessarily talk. Like, you find that people are more candid when they are not being watched by everybody. Does that make sense? Plus, I want people to feel comfortable, so it's just like a smaller group. It's a small enough group that you still feel like, hey, I'm doing a group interview here, or I'm doing an interview with multiple people, but it's not so big that you're like, oh, Scott's recording this for the internet. Nah, people don't want that. So I do try to break that up as far as that stuff goes. So, and that's just me trying to make this accessible for people. But yeah, here's the phony job that you guys are all interviewing for. I don't ever tell you like who got it or anything. It's just like, and then we just hang out down in we just hang out down there, and I ask questions. Me and the one person kind of have like a back and forth. There's three things that'll always happen in the 10 minutes of each person's interview. There's three things that always happen. I say, hey, tell us a little about yourself and how you align with this role. I expect that to be about 2 minutes. That's what most people do, is like their elevator pitch. And if you've never done that for yourself, that's an excellent time, well, even before that, to know and think about like, hey, what do I have that puts me in the running for this job? And then you talk through it, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Then I ask you some technical questions. I ask you some troubleshooting questions, some operations questions, some personality fit type questions, right? These are the things that I ask. Then at the end, there's a thing I do right at the end where I say, do you have any questions for me? And then you should be thinking through, what would I also want to know from this company? This is the description I give you. And you might just, one of the things you might ask is, well, what flavors of Linux do we use? You might say, hey, what are your 2 biggest pain points right now? Or you might say, when's the last time anybody onboarded with your organization, or should, is that something that I can take on right away to help the onboarding process get better? Yeah. Hazy said, I have the best personality and others are losers and this stuff. Yeah. And here's the thing. I tell people all the time, like, you're going to deal with all types of people in your engineering career. So you might as well get used to different personalities, right? There's all kinds of different personalities you're going to run into. You're going to get the people that steamroll over the top of meetings and talk over everybody. You're going to get the guys like me that, like, I very rarely talk in meetings, but I communicate a lot on Slack and email. And typically my stuff is accurate, right? That's what I try to do, is like be above reproach. I try to be very accurate in my communications. We don't do it there, but I sometimes do it on stream here. I have a whole bunch of talks that I do about soft engineering skills and things that they don't teach you in college, which is actually funny because as a college professor, you would think, well, why don't you turn around and teach those in college? Well, because there's only so much time in college, right? You got to get through all the stuff you got to get through. So that's kind of funny, though. Actually, I just thought Ubuntu was a fancy Norwegian girl name. That's pretty funny. Here we go. Did it work? Hold on. Why is that not working? It's like it was working, and then now it stopped working. Why did nothing not? Why did that not trigger right now? I just did nothing over on that other one. But let's see over here. Hold on. Nothing. Not triggering. I don't have... The queue's not paused or blocking. The actions are not... Huh. Could I trigger it? I mean, can I trigger it here?
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Huh. That's super weird. I mean, I've never seen this thing be like spotty like that before. It was working a little while ago. And unless somebody just did it, which I don't see. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if that global... Hold on. I wonder if that global cooldown plays across all things. Hold on. I've got a question now. My global cooldown of this command, I would think, is just of this command, not against other commands, right? So my courses one had a really long user cooldown and global cooldown. I wonder if I was still in my user cooldown, and I wonder if my user cooldown goes across all of them. You see? And Joey, yours might be within the global cooldown. So there's a global cooldown about nothing of 60 seconds. So you should be able to do nothing now, Joey Bites, if you want. But that's weird. So I'm going to make the user cooldown of this be like 120 as well. That's weird. That just must be... I'm gonna try nothing now. Courses. There's something happening in the background that I don't understand of this. So I guess I'm in a I'm in a cooldown thing now as well. So I try CMD. Should give commands to both sides. There's our commands. Well, yeah, so we can see the queues But I think the queues weren't. Here's action history. Joey Bites, will you try any of those commands? If you don't mind. I don't think Nightbot will kick you out of here or anything. Nightbot is a terrible DTMF. Nothing. Huh. That is super weird. So there's objection. So there's objection worked. Objection just shouts objection. But I needed to also play the I need also to play the objection clip, you know, and it'll just pop up over, and I'll probably just have the objection like pointing at me. That'd be pretty funny. When I'm actually streaming, it'll just be an objection pointing at me. That'd be kind of funny. Hazy just got saved by ChatGPT. What happened? Or is it just GPT now? Did they drop the chat part of it? That seems like something they'd do. Let me pull up the... Alright, that stuff's all done. Get that out of the way. I'm going to pull up a little hourglass for my... take a little break here. So break and give Ranger a... Let's do a little break and give Ranger a treat. Where's Ranger at? Look at that dog down there. We'll leave it on Ranger Cam while I go. I'll be back. I bet you Boganex or Joey, if you guys don't mind trying your commands again, I think there's a global cooldown across all commands. That's what I think. I think either of your commands would work right now if you guys tried them. Because now we're outside of that window. No? Nothing? Huh. There's something going on. Cause like look, the action queue should have triggered. The last one it triggered on was objection. And the queue is not backed up. So it's gotta be something to do with the way these there's like these global. There's objection again. So objection's going right through. Maybe, hold on. Cancel. Objection does have persist user counter. So I wonder if, hold on. Nothing. Let's do all persist user counter on all these. Although, again, that shouldn't have, I don't think that should have mattered. Command has no global cooldown. Let's give it like a 20-second global cooldown at least, so nobody can be doing anything too crazy with that, I guess. Persist using counter on that as well. And then just real quick, I'm going to close it and reopen it. All right, we should have saved, hold on. No, let's save it. Save it all. Close it. Just for fun. Close it all down. Yeah, just for fun, we're going to close it all down. Close it all down. StreamerBot. Streamer. Go in the folder for it. Just go run the StreamerBot. Where's he at? I know I should just drop it as a link somewhere, but I just haven't done it yet. All right, hold on. He's coming. We'll do our break here in a second. Where's StreamerBot? Taking his time to wake up, that's for sure. All right, action queues, actions. Here's all our actions. Here's our queue. Nothing in any of our queues. Does anybody mind trying one of the chats real quick? Everything should, I mean, they should all just connect. So objection went, command went at the same time, which I think is the way it should be. Oh, it's persist. Oh, I bet it's that. Still not nothing though. Nothing does have a cooldown though. So maybe you guys are being cooled down by the ones that you just did. Hold on, courses and commands, right? You did command. Oops, hold on. go look at command. Command puts you in a little bit, I mean, there's a little bit of a user cooldown. But, no, why is that not... Let's leave this down here. Let me try nothing, because I haven't done anything. That one's just not working. Which is weird, because nothing does trigger off of an actual...
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Commands triggered off of nothing, but there's a space. Hopefully there doesn't need to be a space. That'd be absolute silliness. Oh, there better not need to be a space. That would be silliness. All right, try. I don't know if somebody minds trying nothing again.
You get nothing.
It's the space.
Good day, sir.
It's the space, guys. It was the stupid space. And then for Joey, since there's a cooldown of 60 seconds, yours didn't go through. But I at least know why the one did go through. All right. You guys should see now. All the one command that I didn't add now yet to command is the course. So let's go to. I got to fix the one thing here. Commands. Courses. So we'll just grab all of this. Okay, and then boom, courses, boom. So now people at least know all those, and then now technically you guys should be able to, like, DTMF should work, I think, because that's all correct. That gives you a little call thing. Oh look, Ranger's active. He must know I'm coming down to give him a treat. So why didn't DTMF trigger? We don't see... What the hell? We don't see that coming through. Let's check. That worked. Is my monitor 4K? I don't actually know what my monitor's in. And this is a HP. I mean, I could look it up. I don't think my monitor is any kind of over the top. Let me try DTMF. Why the fuck is that not? Oh, is it that same thing? Is there space after it? Oh, sorry guys. DTMF is call. Did I? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I need to stop being stupid. I'm pretty dumb. You guys will find over time that I'm pretty dumb. Yeah, it's DTMF, man, is call. I'm stupid. I can't remember things between here and here. Yeah, sorry, it's call. So I also made it call and DTMF, so now either of them should do it. So. And then now. There you go. Boom. All right. I'll take a little break. I'll be back. We'll leave this running. I'll leave it on action queue so you guys can see the queue history for any of the commands if anybody wants to keep playing with it. So break and give Ranger a treat. I'll be back. I'm going to go take a little walk. Salma Hayek. Yeah, we need to practice it and get the ones that pop up on stream. So we just get like the little get to the choppa and the messages pop up. Right up back. Alright, Ranger's eating a treat. You guys get to watch Ranger. I like to take a walk a little bit. Yep. Ranger likes to eat on his carpets or his bed, so either one of those is fine. I'm having one of these little Sargento balanced break things that my wife gets me. There's like almonds and I guess it's almonds and cranberries, and then cheese. So it's a decent little like snack thing. So that was call triggered over on the YouTube side. So I've turned the sound up. Maybe that made the music a little loud. I'll turn the music down, but still have the ability to play the sound a little louder. Yeah, that should be good. That's probably pretty good for you guys. Oh, excuse me. All right. So, Ranger is taken off from his bed. Who knows where he's going? Ranger's back. Look at that dog. I'm pretty sure I have the GIF for, let's see where I got it. Linux group. Streaming. Probably under like images somewhere. Yeah, so let's see if we can fire. Let's see if we can add something to one of these. Let's add one that's going to do something different now. Let's say I don't know if we'll be able to do this easily. We're going to try to do something like this, where it's like, I can answer that for money, but we'll try to pop it up with one of these. Something like this. And we drop that over it. I can answer that for money. All right. Let's see. Do Ranger. Ranger is also a dog. YouTube, Twitch. Okay. The actions for Ranger will be Ranger. And the action to trigger Ranger will come from streaming. And it's fine. The trigger for Ranger will come from the triggered Ranger or dog. And then the commands, let's see if we can just show I wonder if we could just show. We probably could. So we'll do it for a specific scene. We have to connect our OBS. All right, so I gotta figure out how to connect my OBS for this. Probably integrations, probably with here's OBS. I see. We'll have to connect in and do our OBS stuff. See if we can add. So it'll connect on a local host. So, right, local host. And let's see if we can connect to our info. See if it connects. Status is disconnected, so we're not connected into my OBS. I may have to allow OBS. Very possible if I'm connecting to my own machine on 4455, right? I may have to. What is that? 4455? I don't necessarily, here, let's see, I don't necessarily see that. It's still running, but I don't see that. Nope. 4455. I don't see my system listening on that, right? So, Hazy had an AI request a request library for you. Nice. Did requests or URL lib3 not work? Oh, were you not using, Hazy, were you not using, I mean, if it's Python, I mean, URL lib3 is one that saved me before. I have that in some of my Lambda stuff out in the world. I have some Lambda stuff that pulls things down and brings it into my AWS instances. And then people can run and see, I guess, anything that's interesting to them, really, around, it's a bunch of geo stuff. Oh, nope, not 4455. Nope. All right, so we're gonna say that that's not working. I might need to go find my settings for my OBS and see if there's like a server setting, and I could turn on my server for like local connections. Let's see. I got all that stuff. Output, replay, streaming, I got all that stuff. Can I set up studio mode's fine. All right, I might have to figure out how to set up. Don't have URL lib. Oh, you tried URL lib3 as well, like not just URL lib, but That's the one. I don't know. I don't know any of the differences between them. I'm not, deep in Python in any way. But if I don't have requests, I check for URL lib3, and then I can get like the basic stuff working. I don't run Streamlabs desktop anymore. I just use OBS. Just try connect. Disconnect. All right, so that's not showing. Let me go see if I can find my. Here's my default OBS settings over here. And I don't see any of that stuff. Source alignments, this tray, preview, importers. No. I would think it would be over here, like in advanced, if I was recording anything. If I had anything. Never disable hotkeys, that's fine. I would think. Do I not have the option for network? Output. Stream. Keys. You never show your keys, right? But I should be able to. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I would think it would be somewhere around outputs. Huh. There's probably something. I'm going to have to go take a little trip down the Google lanes. Hayes, what did you say? You're locked down. You can't install Python libs with pip. Even pip 3? All right. Fair enough. Yeah, if they've got you locked down, there's nothing you can do, right? Why is my... I've never played with Polypop or Meld. I've had Streamlabs desktop on, but I don't run it anymore. They didn't give me... They were really being... It was much too kind of, lack of a better term, shitty. So let me go. We'll go take a look here. We got a lot of labs, guys. A lot of labs for you guys to work on. In fact, I gotta record all the labs being done, just for kind of part of our process here. All right. Let me go here. OBS connection. See if there's a way to turn on set up local streaming server. Don't necessarily want that. OBS to we need OBS connection to. Yeah, thanks Boganex. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out, helping me test stuff out. OBS connection to StreamerBot. See if we can do that. So we can add. Okay, this is what I was trying to do. OBS. So I don't have a web socket included, so I might have to. I need OBS WebSocket server. This is probably useful to keep. So we'll take this out and then we'll keep it and then we'll go here. How do we do this? Default. So if that's default, then maybe I just have it up here. WebSocket servers. Here we go, guys. Here we go. So I do have that. I do have that already. So I could enable my WebSocket server 4455. I would have a server password. I can generate or put my own password in there. There we go. All right, guys, all this stuff, by the way, is like stuff that I'm going to be including. Oh, you know what? It's funny. Oh, it did come up. Okay. I thought it wasn't showing it because it was set to default, not have it up. And then I would be able to see the connected WebSocket sessions here for that. So that's cool. So then I can control things via this, and really what I'll have it do is be aware of the stuff, and then probably what I want to do is run this little GIF. This is one of my favorite little, if you guys have never seen this GIF, we'll open it in Photos. Huh. This is, maybe this isn't the best example of it, but this is the little GIF of Ranger when I was testing it out. So I'll get a better resolution one where it's smaller. But I'll get some more clips of Ranger, and then we're gonna put clips of Ranger up. So then if we are doing one of those chats like that, or we're doing like a deep session, if any of you guys want to do like see Ranger, you just pop it up and we'll get some video of Ranger. I could actually have it pull, well, that might be a little weird. I was going to say it could pull the most recent version of Ranger's pictures because they automatically drop in an NFS share that I have. So I do have a lot of old, I mean, I basically just always am streaming Ranger even when I'm not sharing it out to the world. Like I can always, at any time, I can always just check on Ranger even from upstairs here. So this is always running, this camera. So it's just so I can keep an eye on Ranger, you know. The wife's out of town, it's just me and him. So I went and gave him a treat a little while ago, and then basically it's just me feeding him every day, you know. All right, we'll turn this on and go generate a password. We'll just make it and then apply. Well, they're gonna make it as a okay, so that shows how to connect. All right. We'll just say apply. Hopefully this doesn't drop our connection right now. All right. So we could turn that on in real time. Let's go pull this little guy back up. I think we can get rid of this. So I think that's fine. Not really a lot of troubleshooting there that we needed, since that's probably going to now connect. And if it connects, is that it? There's a password, so make sure that we can't see it. Okay, good. Let's go grab that password from my other screen over here. Here's our server password, which should be able to drop in, connect, and then immediately, if it connects, it should connect right away. Four, 455 host. Well, it's actually funny. Apply. That should be good. Auto connect on startup, okay. And connect. All right, let's go check this password. The password, that did not take the right password. Hold on, show connect info. Yes. Copy. That's funny, it did not take the right password there. Okay. Okay. Boom, close that down, and then we'll try to connect. Call worked. That stuff's all still working. Connect. All right, there we go. All right. So now I see my sources and I see my stream status is streaming, not recording. Current stream. I wonder if I could go here and see then. Yeah, these are my different things. The for money, in case anybody's wondering, that's the that's this one. I can answer that. For money. Not Fake Amir, he said, hi Scott. I started the security engineering course recently. I want to catch up with you guys, and you have a final project I can put time in for, but missed out some of the initial discussion posts. Is that okay? Yeah, you can actually catch up Fake Amir, or not Fake Amir. You can always catch up in the course. We have in the final project, and I've actually thought about kind of changing this a little bit, but we'll go with it for this first run. The final project can be found here. This is what I kind of have you guys doing. So I'll drop this over to you on the Twitch side and on the YouTube side. And the question, it's basically building out a, you know, we picked up a new client and they want us to help them adhere to the HIPAA or GDPR if you're in the EU. So some guys asked for GDPR and I said, yeah, we'll do GDPR. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And so what we ended up doing then is build out the documentation for compliance for HIPAA or GDPR and then just be ready to present it at the end. So I'm actually going to do this project for my own little thing, but we're going to be able to talk about how are we implementing risk analysis and management in the program. How often are we going to check the systems? What are our safeguards that we're putting in place as we build things? How do we form business associate agreements with other companies? There's some templates for that. And then what are our documentation practices? What are our policies, our procedures, and our review cadence for these different things? So these are kind of the things that we're working. Hey, Fisherman, how's it going? We're not working too hard right now, but Fisherman, we do have a bunch of commands set up now. You guys can use these commands. The Ranger Dog one's not set yet. I need to. I need to add some more to this, but yeah, Fisherman. Hopefully this stuff's useful. Also, Fisherman's been around a long time. He's the one that runs our bot in the Discord, in case you guys didn't know. So that's funny. We always try to get these guys streaming more. Fisherman's got some pretty good labs up on Killer Coda as well for you guys to mess with. Let's go check this Ranger stuff. And what can we do? Actually, maybe we'll modify. Let's just go mess with the Ranger stuff. All right. So Ranger's here. Here's his core commands to trigger him, and then his sub actions. Let's go see what we can do with OBS. Can we in OBS just show like a source? Can we just play? Set like an image source file and then set its visibility, right? So let's set an image source file. We're on streaming. The source is any of those. So it's actually funny. Okay, so we're going to use Ranger as an example for this other thing I already have set. So I just want to try it real quick and see OBS. And we're going to go filters, sources. And we're going to set a source visibility state. And we're going to change it to, for money, right? That's the one. State will be visible. Okay. And then we'll set a timer, right? Timer for, where would we do? Sorry. I think core has timer in it. So timer, set timer state. Nope, I just want to set a timeout or a time. Should just be able to do like a 30-second. Here's delay. So delay of 5 seconds, right? And then maybe we'll say random to 10 seconds, right? And then we'll do an OBS thing again. Where's OBS? Oh shit, guys. Source and we'll set the source visibility state of for money back to hidden. Okay. So now, if that's there and that's all up, and we'll persist user counter and we'll make that, I don't know, global cooldown for that will be like 60 seconds and user cooldown will be like, I don't know, 180 seconds. Twitch, YouTube, Ranger, or dog. Okay, actions. Good. We should be able to, anybody should be able to do Ranger or dog. Ranger or dog. Let's see. And now it should only pull up that other thing, but it looks like it. I feel like it did it for a second. I don't know why StreamerBot looks like that. I'm not exactly sure. I think that I think there's a problem with the way we did that. Hold on. Let's change this. Visibility state is just going to be toggle, and then the visibility state here will be to toggle as well. I have a feeling that's what it actually requires. And then I'm going to come over here. Yeah, actually it probably is milliseconds because it literally did that in like no time. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So let's change it back just for now. We'll try it to visible. Okay. Invisible, hidden. And that's milliseconds, so 5,000 and 10 whoops, random to 10,000, right? All right. So somebody again, if you would, on either Twitch or YouTube, you should be able to try Ranger, and it should pop up. And now it'll do. Well, there's a timeout, so it might take a second. Hold on. Let me try. I don't know why. There it is. I can answer that for money, but that's actually I'll want that to be a different thing than Ranger. Obviously, we'll have to get a Ranger source in there, and that's kind of cool. We can actually just change. So watch, we can change the name of that one to for money, right? And then the triggers for that, we'll just go over here to the commands, and we'll change the Ranger to, you know, for money. And then the triggers for that will be like question for money, no space, always no spaces after. That's super annoying that it for money. I could just, anytime somebody says ask, if you got any questions you want to ask me, you can ask them. Try not fake a mirror. You probably were in a timeout. Hold on, hold on. Give it a second. Question for money or ask. So now it's new names, but then give it a second. It should work for you. I don't have it special in any way. Hold on. I don't have the action cues. Cue from streaming. I don't have anything that's supposed to keep it. Oh, for money should now be that. Yeah. Okay. And then the OBS visibility state. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything that should be stopping you from doing that. Give it a second, not fake a mirror. Let's give it like 20. Ah, did it finally do it? I can answer that. For money. Maybe I need to make that timer just a little bit longer, though. So if anybody asks me any fucking questions, it'll just automatically pop up with like, I can answer that for money. That is so funny to me. Will somebody else ask if you don't mind? I don't know if anybody minds doing that for me, but just ask and it'll pop up. Ask or question or whatever. Or I should get the so that's the other thing is I need to get the sound bite with it, right? So then I'll have the sound bite, and it'll be like. I should also get that one too. Yeah. Like purpose or if somebody says like, what are we doing here? It'll be like, what is my purpose? You pass butter. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of these now that I need to start making and adding. So that's actually awesome. Because we've done sound. So if you do like call or DTMF, it should do sound. If you do course, it should give you links to the course, and the course links should go on either side. So when you guys do that, whether you trigger it from Twitch or YouTube, the course links will go to both sides. Now, it comes from me. It looks like I'm the one who's doing it, but I'm not the one actually typing it out. And I think also if you do CMD or commands, it drops it in both chats as well. So the reason I'm bringing that up is if you're on Twitch or YouTube and you're just seeing stuff and you're like, what the hell is all this stuff popping up for? It would be coming from that. I also have Nightbot is just dropping normal stuff at regular intervals on the Twitch side of things, but the Nightbot is not tuned to YouTube, so I don't have anything dropping on the YouTube side as far as like timers. And with this, I can have this stuff dropping on the original timers. So I don't know if you guys mind, if anybody minds doing another ask for me. Exclamation mark ask, if you would. And I need to get the soundbite to go with this. Oh, that's interesting. That one didn't trigger. Not fake mirror didn't trigger for you. That's weird. Because the cooldown. Look, you're definitely outside the cooldown. The cooldown globally is 3 minutes, and we should be over that. The global for user is 3 minutes, and I'm pretty sure you're outside of that. And the global cooldown is 60 seconds. It worked for fishermen. I can answer that. For money. That fucking guy. That's the Nathan Fillion episode as well. Not better than Fisherman Guy. Oh, Fisherman, you know what's funny is I was showing the guys the other day, I had your GitHub up. So I had my GitHub up, but I had yours up, and then I was showing them where they could go find the code for the bot. Somebody was asking about like, oh, is there any, and I said, I think you could go and get involved with that if you want. By the way, guys, the bot welcomes you when you come in, and then if you ask certain things, it'll do things. I think I dropped it in the general channel. I think I had. So, guys, there's always stuff going on. But yeah, right up here, I'm pretty sure I dropped your stuff in for GitHub. Because somebody's asking, like, where does the bot pick up its whatever? There's so much crap going on. But Fisherman, what I was saying earlier, and this is Fisherman, this is all part of the global, we want to take over the world as a bunch of Linux engineers, right? One of the things I want to do is I want to run. No, Fisherman, that's awesome. I mean, I'd hope to get some of these other guys like working on stuff with you. Like, I don't know if you've been around, Fisherman, but the guys put together these awesome books. Let me show you these books if you haven't seen them. So I had been running the courses, and they went and put everything in Markdown on GitHub. And then now you could go to like Unit 1 of the course and go read what it's about. You guys could print this to your own PDFs. Like, it'll print out to like a 400-page PDF for you guys. Like, if somebody was printing or just, even if if you guys didn't want to get it, you didn't always want to be online. You need an offline copy, so, maybe you're doing something. But I think this is excellent work by the guys putting together like what our 16-week course looked like. And then our security engineering one, they've been doing this one as well. And they've been putting together like this is what the 10-week course looks like, which may have a couple of extra courses at the end as well. So we're only up on Unit 7 this coming up week. But yeah, the guys have been putting together these awesome books. And they do it, guys, if you haven't seen, they do it out of GitHub. And then they have like this Markdown reader that just comes through and it just reads everything and publishes it to a book. So they also have, they have need for more contributors in there. So if you guys want to get in there and help them do it and get your name on a project, I know guys like me and Fisherman, we've been around the industry for a long time, so we don't necessarily need one more thing on our resume. But for some of the newer guys, man, that's a nice way to get your name out there on something that I think is pretty valuable. But anyways, Fisherman, where I was going with that is I'm going to give a webhook to my chat bot for this channel right here, which is our Twitch and YouTube questions. And then when I'm running stuff, maybe I'm doing like a recorded previous session, people will be able to ask and it'll pop up with that thing again, but it'll drop the message in here for us. So then anybody from the community or myself the next morning or any of you guys that want to answer the questions can. And then maybe we'll figure out a way, Fisherman, to have the bot count that up And then maybe at the end of the month or something, I'll do like a free Humble Bundle or something for the person that gives the most contributions, or the person that helps out the most or something. I'll do something. I mean, I think that would be awesome, because then we could have people always in there doing Linux stuff, working through Linux, doing our labs, doing that kind of stuff. But then also they could be asking questions out of there, even if like the regulars aren't around. But then we've got the whole community in here to be able to answer, and then people, will say, hey, I've sent when somebody asks something, it'll say, hey, we're sending your question off to our community, and then you could go in there and look. And look, I mean, I imagine people are gonna do inappropriate stuff. People do inappropriate stuff with everything you give them. I mean, what can you help? But I mean, I think that would be a nice way to, I don't know how to say it, except maybe bring the streaming closer to like the Discord, where people can feel like they're, more supported. And because sometimes people do have legitimate questions around, hey, I want to build this, or hey, I saw this thing and I want to do it a certain way or something. So, yeah, if you guys didn't see this was Slippy the Slime the other day. That stupid thing. Let's see if this will play. Let's see what our little slime does. I've never even... Oh, look, he makes little messes everywhere. He just goes around the map. So I was watching this... I was playing this game, which was like a little idle clicker. And the slime was just dropping these little shit piles or slime piles or whatever. Just basically dropping dukes all over the carpet, all over the map as it was killing monsters. And this was like the funniest shit to me. Shitting everywhere. I lost it, dude, for like 5 minutes. I like lost it on stream. This was pretty funny. It made me laugh anyways. That slime just goes through. Look at him just down there shitting everywhere. He's off the screen right now. He's over here dropping messes. Yeah, it got me in like a solid like giggle. I don't go there very often, but anyways, that's funny to me. All right, so now, hey, Coffee Overland, thanks for being here. Thanks for the resubscription. Coffee, if you do ask right now, you could ask me any question. If you do !ask on either side, it'll you gotta do !ask. Ask me anything you want. Ask me about why the sky is blue today. I don't know. We're messing with StreamerBot, and Fisherman made a nice post. Any brand? What brand would you be? I can answer that for money. Anyway, so no, it's actually funny. Any brand? There's a couple questions there's a couple factors you'd have to decide. Do you want to be a loved brand or a feared brand, and do you care? Like, would you want to be a brand that's instantly recognizable anywhere on Earth or only in niche markets? I used to work for a company called AAA. CSAA is the side of it that I was on, but most people know the outside as a AAA. And we were the highest in America. We were like the highest good brand recognition of companies. Like every time they would check, we would constantly have like the top like 1 percentile of companies good. We would be recognized immediately. Everybody knows who AAA is. They've saved your grandma from a flat tire. And also we were almost like, I think we were like 96 or 97% positively identified. But that being said, that didn't really help us to be a good insurance company. We were always fighting against like Geico in general and like all these fucking like just shit insurance companies. But we had a much better brand recognition than them by far. But some of them were doing better in like the like in the marketing space of like actually getting people to switch over. So I'd be Fig Newton because of Ricky Bobby, or you could also be not just Fig Newton. You could be Big Red. Because remember what Ricky Bobby said. If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. That's his quote, not mine, guys. Yeah, that's what Ricky Bobby said. My wife did not like that movie. She's like, that movie was so... And I was like, listen, man. I had a buddy... So in my 20s when that came out, we just used to go to the gym every morning and just lift weights, me and him. And this was for years. And he and I would quote Ricky Bobby for probably about 2 years of that. So, yeah, that was ridiculous. If you're not first, you're last. Yep. Good old Big Red. And then he tells the guy, break it. I tell people that in jiu-jitsu all the time. Somebody will put me in a bad position. I'll be like, break it. And don't ever tell a white belt that. They will break your arm. But also don't be in a bad position with white belts. There you go. Boom. But I play around with the white belts too much for how long I've been playing the sport. Actually, speaking of that, I got to go train with my buddy's gym tonight. I got a little bit of a travel to another gym. That's GYM. Yeah, I'm going to a different gym for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tonight. And it's no-gi. I haven't done a lot of no-gi lately, but we talk about no-gi and yes-gi. Which is actually, it's no-gi and gi jiu-jitsu, but we joke around about it being no-gi and yes-gi. And it's also funny that my closed captioning has literally no idea what I'm talking about right now. So that's kind of funny. Where's Fisherman? Fisherman still around? Here, listen to this, Fisherman. I added a bunch of sounds. So DTMF and call will give you just some phone calls. I have a bunch more that I've been grabbing. So you guys that weren't around earlier, the BBC has released, and I remember this in I think it was 2020 or 2021. They released all their old sound effects. So you can go and find a bunch of sound effects that are under, you can go to machines, and then I like the duration under 10 seconds. And you can just get, photography, household effects, a gas fire, lights, hey, I'm going to tell you a story or something, I don't know. Junior type vacuum cleaner stopping on carpet. They have so many things going on. Some of these are kind of loud too. There we go. How's Ranger doing? Ranger doing good. I gave him a treat a little while ago. I walked down on stream, I don't know, probably under an hour ago and went and gave him some food. So Coffee Overland, call wouldn't work for you there because there's a little bit of a global timeout. So you could probably do call now and call would work. Or, yeah, see? So there's a global timeout with it as well. And then there's also command or commands that'll give you some of the other commands. And actually I need to update that one. So over here under command, right, I can go under the YouTube message for all chat. I could also come here and then I can say, okay, there's call, nothing, courses, objectives. There's also ask or question, right? And then course command, call, nothing, courses, ask, question. Nothing one is fun. You guys should try that one if you haven't. But then I want to add this here and say okay, and then I want to add it here and also say okay. Boom. So now that's been updated, and then that just drops in the chat. So if people ask, Coffee Overland, work's doing good. I'm kind of just co-working in another window while I'm kind of hanging out here, letting people know about our Discord, letting people know that there's a place they can go and hang out with other engineers and talk shop and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Also, I'll probably be on later tonight too after I wrestle. I'll come hang out and work on stuff. I'm going to get the Unit 7 course a little more organized for the security engineering stuff, so I'll get that there. And then, yeah, other than that, just kind of hanging out, and I'll probably keep working on my little streamer bot, getting him a little more set up for commands and stuff that you guys can do to hopefully make stream a little more interactive. You guys can hang out in there. And one of the cool things is whether I put it on the YouTube side or the Twitch side, if I do CMD, it should go to both sides. So if anybody drops a command like that, like I did a command over on the other side, then it popped over here. Coffee Overland, you had a bit of a busy period and now nothing's happening. Okay. Yeah, because didn't you just started somewhere, right? I'd be making sure you review as much documentation as you can, updating documentation where you can. All that kind of stuff's useful. Ranger is taking it super easy, guys. He's also like, I mean, I've been giving him, we give him pain meds day and early morning and at night, and the pain meds are making it better, but he's having a hard time standing up, and the what's it called, the veterinarian said that it's not because he's weak, it's because of he's in pain. Like, he's a strong enough animal to stand up on his own. He's just in pain, so it's hard for him too. So we've been giving them those pain meds, and it's getting better for him. But it's like, that's really just like a shunt. That's not a real, or a stopgap. That's not a real fix of any type, right? I mean, he's old. He's getting older. So yeah, coffee overland. You're in your shadowing period. Are you also, you get some work from home days, right? I think if I recall, you got some. You weren't 100% in all the time, if I remember correctly. So working from home, nice. Yeah. Check things out. Yeah, and all I have to do today is go do that wrestling, and then I do want to do some stuff for my college tonight. I do a post discussion every day for my college students, but then in the college that I'm attending, I also have to do some posts. So I'm gonna get those going probably here tonight. I have those written in my head. I just have to do all the APA formatting. And if you guys have never done APA formatting, it's kind of a little bit of a, I mean, there's tools and stuff all over that'll do it. You have to make sure they're set to the right version now. I think we're up in 7. But also you have to, make sure you format things correctly and make sure that your reference page looks right and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to spend a little time with that. Linux said, I did a small workshop to teach devs to create a Docker container for their app. It was fun and simple. Nice. How'd that go? Sounds like it was good. Yeah, sounds like that's pretty good. But all these commands are up. And the main reason I'm going to use StreamerBot instead of like Nightbot doesn't integrate with anything but Twitch. So I need something that can integrate with both Twitch and YouTube. And in that respect, Nightbot falls short. So I'll probably have to take the commands that I have out of Nightbot and go and just put them in here, because I can set them up as like timers and that kind of stuff and organize them. And then I do have in here, I have StreamerBot, and then I also have the other one called SpeakerBot. And I can actually have SpeakerBot say things from, I use AWS on the back. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys that, but see if I can pull up SpeakerBot real quick. I haven't pulled up SpeakerBot in a while either. But let's let him start up real quick. And he ties back to Amazon Polly. You can actually use GCP as the back end, or you can use, so he'll go here, and then for me, I have my system set back to my, where's he at? Custom commands, like ask, we used to come through, and then it was Steven's voice. But he was set to, where's he at? Custom commands, channel rewards, settings. He can be set to, no, I don't want any of that crap. Where's he at? Your speaking options can go and be connected to, oh, here's your speech engine. So I have Amazon Polly set. And then I also have that set with my AWS keys. So you have keys set for your user, and you have to put those in. I think there's one here. And then he can be logged into my Twitch. He can also be logged into, you can have a bunch of different speech engines in here, but here's all your options for voices. And then I think I liked this like One American Steve one or something like that. I forget. Yeah, Steven. I think Steven was like a good voice for what we were doing. And then it would go out to Amazon Polly. It would take all of the information that we dropped in it out of our LLM, and then it would run. And then, yeah, and whatever different things we had. Here's our voice aliases, and we could test a random message. Now,
This is a test message.
Yeah, so that message, when this gets generated, if I test this one now. Taking a little bit of time.
칩이다 테스트 매사게.
All right, that was in a different language, so that was not correct. So that was not the right one. Anyways, the point is I don't really use the speaker bot much right now, but we might play with it later. Now we're gonna close it. All right, we're not using any of that right now, but we could integrate that with this as well. Lindsay said it went good. It was in Spanish, and you're in Chile. Thanks to HackMD, I shared the instructions. Everybody is run a simple container hosted on GCP registry, which is called car. Interesting. All right. All right. Did you guys record it at all? Are you going to put it up on YouTube or anything? That's a nice little project. Nice little thing to get. Hopefully all that stuff. It's a nice little project for people to get into that stuff, so it's cool. Let's close this stuff down. We don't need all this stuff anymore. All right. But anyways, yeah, this is what we were working on today. We're just doing a little bit of co-working, just kind of hanging out. You guys can ask questions. You guys can do these fun little kind of interactive things that we have going on, which is now working correctly on both sides. You guys see that? I can answer that for money. That pops up when you guys do ask now. Oh, that's so funny. But I will eventually take the ask and turn it into it'll be a webhook, and then questions that you guys ask will drop down into the Discord, and then it'll be there for you guys. People can answer your questions or whatever. Maybe we'll have something. We'll have a counter that keeps track of how many questions have been asked or something. A lot of that stuff's easy. It's just a little time consuming. We just got to mess around with it a little bit. Get the right level of stuff showing and the right level of stuff happening. And it's all pretty good. So, all right. I'm gonna take a walk around a little bit. Give you guys a hourglass. And say break. Break and take a walk. All right, I'll be back. 10 minutes. Take a walk. Relax. Play with the sound settings if you guys want. I'll be back around. All right, I'm getting back. Walking around a little bit. Hayes, you said your stupid HTTP request code to work so dumb. Oh yeah, okay. Let's see if I can see that sound bite. Let's see. Soundboard.
I can answer that for money.
I can answer that for money.
I can answer that for money.
Let's see if that downloaded. Oh, that's funny. Downloads. Nope, that's the other one. So that did not download. Alright. Let's see if we can download this. Download. Alright. Now we're going to change that to for money. Put it back where we were. Streaming. Soundboard. For money. So now, hold on, I got to add this in. Hayes, you're going to take a walk? Nice. Yeah, you got to get out of your chair every now and then. We're going to go to this for money. And we're going to answer. So OBS state delay. But before the delay, we're going to add a... So maybe we'll do another little... Let's do a chord delay of, let's say 100, or this will be 1 second to like 2 seconds, right? And then right after that, we're gonna add in the sound, play a sound, and the sound will be at 50%. And then the sound file to play will be for money. And then boom. So it'll turn on, you'll hear the sound, and then there'll be some wait, and then it'll go away. All right. Anybody want to try the ask command for me? The ASK. Exclamation mark, any kind of ASK. Huh. I know I have the objection thing somewhere, so I gotta go find the images for objection. Let's see.
I can answer that for money.
That is very funny to me, guys. And then it'll just go away after 20 seconds or whatever. That is funny. All right, I'm gonna have to keep making those just as I go, because those amuse me greatly. And then when I'm streaming, that'll just pop up over me streaming, and then I'll be back after whatever else I'm doing. So that'll be good. And then maybe eventually we'll make them for channel points. I don't know. We'll figure that out later, but we'll just keep making them for now. That'll be good. Oh, Hayes, you said you have broken SSL certs? Yeah, I just reading that now. Yeah, it's all a hassle. It's all a hassle. All right, let's get that out of the way. We'll play with that more later. Um, we got a place for you guys to go hang out. It's on our Discord. And Discord just kind of looks like that. Let's put that over on both sides for you guys. There's a place for you guys to hang out and talk shop with other people that are maybe doing some of the same stuff as you guys are, or trying to work on the same stuff that you guys are. So. Look at Ranger down there. He is as happy as they come. I think it's 88 right now in Phoenix, so it's getting hot. It's supposed to be 90 today. And then it's going to start hopefully cooling down in the... It's actually interesting. I'm curious. If I go back out of this mode to studio mode, I wonder what happens if you guys do that ask command. So I might have to check that again here in a second. We give it a little bit of a cooldown. But I wonder if that ask command can set when I'm not in studio mode, you can't change the visibility of something until you transition the new scene over. So I'll have to probably just make sure when I'm streaming that I'm out of studio mode for that, because I think if I were to do an ask right here, I don't think it'll pop up. Nope, doesn't.
I can answer that for money.
I had to manually transition that over, so I'll just have to make sure I'm not in studio mode, so that can happen. That visibility thing can happen for you guys in that mode. That'll look good. That'll work. That'll do what we want. It might stay on there a little longer than I need, so maybe I move that down to only like 20 seconds. Be like 10 to 20 seconds that it stays up or something. That might be a little better. I think I have it a little long right now, so we can tune all that down as we go. So I guess I could have it do a scene transition too. But then if I was in any other scene, it would still do the scene transition. So maybe I'll need to check some of these capabilities here. But I definitely think I can do some funny things in there. Let's change this down now. We'll do 15 to 20, and we'll change that 15 to like 12. So 12 seconds to 20, that still seems a little long. Let's go 15. Let's go like 8 here. So 8 seconds to 15 seconds, that'll stay up after the sound plays. Yeah, that's probably better. That's probably more of, because the joke, you don't want the joke to go too long and hang too long, especially if I'm actually doing something. I want people to still be able to do it, but not affect too much of what we're doing or working on. So that'll be kind of good. But yeah, mainly, what we're doing, when I'm co-working here, I'm working on other stuff. But then I'm also kind of hanging out with you guys and answering questions, hopefully around Linux or Linux-related topics that you guys might be interested in. And then what else do? We work on stuff. Normally, we'll be like setting stuff up for courses that we're running, or just talking through technologies and things that I'm building in the home lab. And how you guys can get access to the lab environments, because you guys can have access to labs, right? It's all there for you guys. Maybe I need to put that. Yeah. Maybe I need to put that as a question too, like labs or lab or Yeah. I think that would be a good another one to build for our little commands lab or labs, or then also our student one. We'll have to have like a little squeaky chair pulled up and have to have some. Yeah, well, we can mess with it. We can get some good stuff going. I think it'll be good. All right, guys, I'll probably drop off of here. I was gonna raid somebody, but we don't have that many people, so we'll drop off. But you guys are welcome to always hang out down in our Discord. We got like a lot of people down there doing engineering and engineering adjacent activities. So come in there and hang out, and we will do that kind of stuff. I will also post one more time. Oh, we already got the Discord up there, so there we go. And Capra, hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Thank you for the follow. You know what? Yeah, we'll go find somebody to raid real quick. We'll raid. Who's on? Who's on right now that we can watch? I don't have anybody I want to raid. So, all right, I will. Oh, that's Co. I was like, who is that? All right. Yeah, we won't worry about it today, but we'll just go to our little end of stream. And I appreciate you guys coming by, and I will see some of you probably later on tonight. We'll be on. All right, take care.